The Troubadours. One of the most fascinating literary phenomena to emerge from medieval Europe. When we speak of Provençal troubadour literature, we're talking about a poetic tradition that flourished in the south of France, particularly in the region of Occitania, beginning in the late 11th century. This was no mere rustic verse. No, this was a sophisticated, courtly art form, composed in
Languedoc
or Old Occitan, a Romance language distinct from the French of the north. The troubadours were poet-musicians, and their songs, cansos, savants, albas, and tensos, were performed in the courts of lords and ladies. But what truly sets them apart is their creation and elevation of the concept of fin amour, or refined love. This was not about marital duty or carnal pleasure, it was a highly stylized, almost spiritual longing for a beloved, often an unattainable noblewoman. The lady was placed on a pedestal, the poet became her vassal, and love was treated as a path to personal refinement, even transcendence. You might recognize the ripple effects of this tradition in later European literature. Dante, for instance, openly admired the troubadours. He names Arnaut Daniel in the Divine Comedy and praises him as a master of the art. Petrarch, too, inherited this ethos of refined, suffering love. Even Shakespeare owes something to these medieval singers. Now, some of the most famous troubadours include Guilhem de Poitou, also known as William IX of Aquitaine, who was one of the earliest. Then we have Geoffroy Rudel, who famously wrote of amour de loin, love from afar. His verses express a poignant longing for a woman he had never met. There's also Bernard de Ventadorn, whose songs are models of lyrical beauty and emotional complexity. Troubadour poetry wasn't static, of course. Over time, it developed intricate formal constraints, strict metrical patterns, rhyme schemes, and rhetorical devices. And despite the idealization of women, these poems were often vehicles for subtle critique, irony, and political commentary. The savants, for example, were used for satire and social commentary, and the tenso presented poetic debates between two interlocutors. Sadly, the Albigensian Crusade and the rise of centralized French monarchy led to the decline of this rich tradition. Yet, its echoes persist in modern lyric poetry, in the romantic ideal, and in the very idea of the poet as a kind of noble soul, devoted not just to words, but to a vision of beauty and love. So yes, Provençal troubadour literature is far more than quaint medieval song. It's the root system beneath much of the Western lyrical tradition, a powerful blend of emotion, artistry, and courtly culture that still resonates today.